All right, let's take all our files that we've made and let's put them in After Effects and let's start animating our South Park video. So before we start, let's make sure that we have everything we need. You should have a character that you've made in Illustrator and make sure that your character is made on different layers. If you need help with this, I have a separate video on how to create your character for layers. Make sure you have an eyes document that has at least 3 layers for different sets of eyes, a closed, an open, and an X. All right, and then make sure that you have some sort of background or a world or a place for your character to like be in and walk around. And then one last thing you'll need is you'll need this mouth file, and I'm providing this for you. So make sure you download that. If you're making your own, that's fine. Talk to me on the side, but it's going to need some special layers here so that you can get this all going. Now, there are a couple other files you'll need. You'll need some audio, and so make sure you record that before you pop everything into After Effects. So once you have all your files, it's time to go to After Effects. And when you go here, all right, create a new project, and we're going to import our files. So double click in the project pane here to import some files. Now, for some reason or another, it seems like you have to do these Illustrator files separately. So we'll do the character first, and we'll click import. Now, when it comes up, this file comes up, or this window comes up and says import kind. Make sure it's on composition. That way you can use the layers. If it's on footage, it's not going to work. So we're going to import our character. You'll see it made a composition for that. Let's import our eyes. And again, we'll do that for the composition. And we'll import the mouths. And we'll import the background. Now, my background I drew on just one layer, so it doesn't even give me an option. And then I'm going to import the 2 audio files that I have. You might just have one, but I'm going to use 2. And now we're ready to start animating. So the very first thing I think that I would do is I would take your background and drag it out here, and let's create a composition with our background on it. Now, before we start doing a lot of other stuff, there's a couple things we should check. Let's make sure that our composition here is somewhere around 30 seconds long, and you can check that in the timeline here. If it's not, you can go to composition and then click on composition settings and make sure that it's on 30 seconds. So the seconds is this number here. This is frames. Now, the next thing we can do here is we can basically come in and work on our character a little bit. Before we actually bring our character into this composition, let's just double click on it and you'll see we have another tab down here, and this is actually our character composition. So there's a couple things that we need to do, and it's actually pretty easy. The very first thing we do is we need to parent or tell each layer like how it's connected to the other. So that's the best way to think about it. So here's how I think about it. The eyes are connected to the face. So I'm clicking this parent quick whip tool and just pulling it to face, and so you can see it says face here. The hair is connected to the face. The mouth placer is connected to the face. The left hand is connected to the left arm. The face, I forgot that one, is connected to the body. The right hand is connected to the right arm. The left arm is connected to the body. The right arm is connected to the body. The feet are connected to the legs, and the legs are connected to the body. So everything's kind of connected to the body. One other thing that I should point out is that if you ever have to reorder this stuff, it's just like Photoshop or Illustrator, you can drag the layers up and down. Now that we have our character kind of set up here, or parented, what we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that this composition is the right size here. So you can see here that I have all this extra space in this composition here for this character, and that's going to make it hard to animate it. So I'm going to actually come down here next to the resolution sampler. It says region of interest. Basically, we can use this like a crop tool. So if I click region of interest and draw a box around it, I can go to composition and I can choose crop comp to region of interest. And now that kind of got rid of all that extra space that I have. The next thing we need to do here is just make sure that this composition is also 30 seconds, just like our stage or our background. And so that's fine. So I'm actually going to pop back to my background, and I'm going to drag my character out here onto my background like this. Now we're going to animate it, so I want to make this character basically walk onto this background. So I'm going to start him off of the background out here like this. You can see that I have a character and a background down here, and what I'm going to do is twirl down in my character composition, and I'm going to go to transform, and I'm going to stopwatch or turn on the keyframes for position. So right here I've set a keyframe for position, and I'm going to zoom in on my timeline just a little bit here, and I'm going to say I want him to walk onto the stage, and it's going to take about, I don't know, 2.5 seconds. So I'm going to drag my cursor out there, and I'm going to drag my character out here. And you can see this line here. This line shows me that he's going to walk out this way. Or actually, it looks like he's going to slide out this way. So that actually is how I can add some motion in here. One thing that's kind of cool about this path here is that you can grab and drag this path. So now he comes out in an arc. So you can kind of use Bezier curves to do some cool stuff. But I just kind of want him to walk out here. And now this whole video is going to be in South Park style. So in South Park, when characters walk out, they kind of like hop out. They kind of hop like this. So instead of going through and like working on all the keyframes separately, what I'm going to use is a tool called the Wiggler to make this work. And you're probably going to need to go to Window and check Wiggler to make it show up. And this is what it looks like right here. And I'm going to, I don't know where I can put that. Let's undock that panel so you can kind of see it. One thing that happens with the Wiggler is it shows up like this. And so you have to make sure that you drag it down so you can see this apply button. But how the Wiggler works is you click on one keyframe. So this one right here is blue, and press Shift and click on the other keyframe. And the Wiggler is going to figure out how to make that thing wiggle between those two keyframes. So there's a couple options you can use. The smooth option kind of makes all the wiggles the same kind of wiggle. If you go to jagged, it's going to be a little bit more unpredictable. And then you can pick the direction. If I pick X, it's going to wiggle it left and right. If I pick Y, it's going to wiggle it up and down. If I pick all the same, it's going to wiggle X and Y the same amount. And if I pick all independently, it's going to wiggle X and Y different amounts. Now, I kind of want my guy to wiggle out or kind of hop out here. So I'm going to choose Y because that's vertical. And then the frequency is how many times per second it's going to wiggle and about how much it's going to wiggle, this magnitude here. So you can just drag and slide these. So I'm going to kind of go about 20 here, and let's make it wiggle about 5 times per second. And when I hit apply, you can see it's created all these keyframes in here for me to make it look like it's going to wiggle. So now if I press play or I drag my slider here, you can see that my character basically kind of bounces up on the screen like that. And that's kind of good for walking. So I'm going to press spacebar here and watch that. And he kind of walks there out on the screen. And so we can use the Wiggler to make them walk like that, and we can use the position keyframes to make them walk around on the screen. All right, so now that's some basic animation here. So let's just say that to do this one more time, I want him to tell his joke, essentially, and then I'm going to make him walk off the screen. So let's say somewhere around, I don't know, 20 seconds, I want him to walk off the screen. So now I'm going to grab him at 18 seconds and make him walk off the screen this way. And so it's set a keyframe here at 18, but now watch what happens. This whole time in between here, it's kind of not done what I wanted to do here. So how this works is at 18, this keyframe that I made, I don't want that there. I want to make a keyframe where he is, so I'm going to click this diamond here first. And then if I want him to walk off, maybe take about 2 seconds to walk off, now I'm going to drag him out this way. And so now from about 18 to 22 there, he slides off. And again, if I want to use the wiggler, I can hold down Shift and I can, change this around, but I can hit apply. And now he'll wiggle off the screen like that. So this is the basic setup for making your character move around on your background in After Effects. In the next couple of videos, I'll show you how to make him blink and how to make him talk.